How are you both?
Uh, we're well. We are going. I'm waiting for us to be live on my page, and then Kristen and I are going to share this out. Um, Zoom changed all the rules,
Oh,
so you have to. You can only do your public. You can't go in your public groups even, um,
oh.
and and then you can share it out from there. So I'm waiting for us
Did
to.
I do it? I
Well,
shared it on my page. I just went to share and shared. Did I do it? Did
oh,
that work?
let's see. Let's find out. Go to your page and find out in a group.
No, it's different on my phone though. It drives me nuts. Okay. Yay, there we are.
Yeah, and we should be on Intuition of the Soul as well. So hello everyone. Don't mean to be rude, but because I was just explaining because of Facebook only allowing you to do certain things. Um, it's interesting. There we are. It's interesting because in order to share into groups now, you have to go on your public page and then share it. But what's great is Kristen can share hers immediately to her groups and I can share mine. So you're on
Yeah.
Intuition of the Soul right now. And there we go. All
Let's
right.
see.
So hello, everyone. Thank you for coming. This is an unusual time. We moved it a little bit earlier, and Kristen's going to be telling us about this. We had to cancel last month because of an emergency, because the word emergency is also part of the thing we'll be tackling today. What is emergency? What emerges from it? How are
Mhm.
we respond? And we were just talking about we're going to start with the idea of gratitude. And as you know, and Nancy, anytime jump in uh, and join us. Um, because this is just a discussion. Words of Wisdom is about the fact that we are in a huge evolution and our words are very important. Our words are spells. And
Mhm.
what spell are we casting and becoming aware of? And if we pay as much attention to what we say, we also start paying attention to how we say it to ourselves and all of those things. So, Chrissy, my dear friend, would you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about you and maybe because we already headed down this road this morning as we talked about gratitude and uh,
Yeah.
related to trauma. And so I'm really excited to see where this hour takes us and what we think. And Nancy, thank you for joining us live. You're all welcome to join us live and be part of the discussion. If not, I am watching on my channel if you have any questions or you want to make um, any comments. So go ahead.
Yes. Oh, thank you so much for having me on, Kitty. You know how much I love you. So, and hi, Nancy. I love you too. So, my name is Kristen Newman. A lot of my friends, my family call me, they know me as Chrissy with Infinite Heart and Soul. I am a multifaceted channel, spirit shaman, whatever I'm, all things woo woo, D, all of the above. That's what I do, who I am, Kundalini Reiki master teacher, Rahani master
Yeah,
teacher,
talk about
all of
words.
those.
How do you find words, for the
I know. Yeah, I had to go with multifaceted, channel because it's like I do so many things. I love all the rabbit holes and the sessions and classes and everything really dive into so many different areas. So talk about words. And then spirit shaman, that's the new one that's really
Oh, I
profound
like
coming.
that one.
Spirit, yeah, because there are different type of shamans. So, but I love this words with wisdom. And if you're watching on my page, hello, I love you. Thank you for being here. I am not looking at my phone because I am not that gifted. I cannot look at my phone and read that and be on here at the same time and focus on what I'm saying. So sorry. So pop on here because the link is on there. So pop on Zoom so I can see your beautiful faces and we can chit chat and have a conversation. So I wanted to talk about gratitude because those that don't know, and I wasn't even going to mention anything because I can feel sometimes from people the internal eye roll. Oh, geez, she's talking about this again. Because 7-ish months ago, I had a near death experience, and it's me. It's part of me now. We have traumas that my family and I are still dealing with, and happened last night, and all these different things. Where my husband had to he relived the experience and all of that and having to console him. So it's I wasn't going to talk about it, but it happens to pop up. And the word that I wanted to talk about today, and of course it'll bleed into other things, but gratitude, that's the foundation of all that I do. I started with these heart issues. I don't even know how long ago, 20-ish years ago. Our daughter is 22 now. And I
Is that
realized that
possible?
I know it's not possible. She graduates next year. I can't believe it. So, from college. So not possible that she's 22. But when I was working, I was just so sick and I was just robotically going through life. And then when I was forced to stay home because I kept passing out and was super sick, um, it was, I really got depressed. So when I awakened, my guides taught me how to pull me out of all of that and what it is to really truly live in gratitude. I actually, talking about words with wisdom, I have two words that I tattooed, love and limitless, on my body because they were very, they're also very profound words for me as well. So,
Well,
but having the
I gotta
gratitude,
believe, I gotta believe limitless to me is a gratitude,
yes,
because when I'm grateful, I understand limitlessness. So
yes, I always felt limited. I always felt limited having an unseen disability, something that isn't seen. If you have something that is seen, unseen, all those different things, we all go through something, and it can be very frustrating. I wouldn't want people to see it while I was working. And then it was also the depression I got because people didn't see it and weren't aware of the internal battles. So the gratitude, having the definition of gratitude is to be thankful in this, thankful state of mind. But I truly am grateful for everything. This present moment, I'm able to breathe good. I don't have pain in my chest when I'm breathing. It's just the breeze is blowing. My grass is finally growing because I've been whining because it's been so crunchy here in Florida because we've had no rain in Central Florida. And we finally are getting our rains back here. And I went outside and I saw the little tiny sprouts of grass in the back because because of my dogs, I don't use any fancy stuff on my lawn. So the backyard is what it is because I don't want to put anything on it. So I was all excited and sharing how grateful I was for the grass. So because they listen and the grass hears you, everything hears you, everything is alive. So, and then the frequency behind it. So, like Nikola Tesla said, in terms of, you have to think in terms of energy and frequency. What is the energy, the emotion, the frequency that you're putting behind the words? Because like Kitty said, we're spelling, we're witches and wizards, and we are spelling what you say and what you are feeling internally. Because I would portray someone that was very positive years ago, but internally I was a pessimistic person, and it showed in my outside world. So I can say it all I want, but I was not having the emotions of, positivity. So having the full gratitude now of, I'm so grateful that I'm so much more positive than I used to be. But the emotion that's behind it, the frequency, the emotion that's behind that word as well, and what words can invoke. Like when someone says, I love you, or you're beautiful, or you're amazing. That's amazing. The words that we say to our children and how it's the emotion, that being present in the moment with the words. That's it for me, right, Kitty? Like just being in that moment, present with the emotion and being able to infuse it and spread it out there
yeah,
with the
because
emotion.
the word gratitude, grateful, uh, I think over the years it has evolved for me. What is
Mhm.
grateful? Um, I think, you know, it's got the word great in it. And you know, a lot, I started using the word gratitude a few years back to say, if I say I'm grateful for something, even in the like the trauma that you went through, it allows me to shift my paradigm. It doesn't mean I get out of it. We were just talking about this. It doesn't mean when something happens to me that it causes a lot of emotional turmoil. If I start with, I'm grateful for what I'm learning, I'm going to learn from there, I walk down a different path, a completely different path. I'm more aware of the words I'm using around it. It really
Yeah.
has nothing to do with, for me, in the last few months, there were some outside things going on that just knocked me off center. And I just started with, well, I'm grateful because I'm going to learn from this. And I'm grateful as I started to look at the patterns and I started to look, but that was something I didn't know how to do. How do I look at something as great? Doesn't mean I'm not angry about it. Doesn't mean I'm not annoyed. It doesn't mean any of those other feelings, but it's about breaking that pattern of my thought around it, you know?
Mhm.
Um, and it goes back to the passage. I thought my shoes were old till I met a man who had no shoes. Then he said, well, I've met a man who has no feet. So it isn't about a comparison. And I think that that's one thing I have found about gratitude is such a personal word. When I become
Mhm.
grateful, I'm in a place of oneness, and I
Mhm.
allows me to step away from my separateness. And that's for me the gratitude into the heart. And frequency wise, gratitude is even higher than the measurement of when we say we're in love.
Mhm.
So that's interesting all by itself.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Those frequencies. The gratitude, it also, we're full of greatness, grateful. We're full of greatness. Again, the word limitless and love. Um, we are limitless and we are full of greatness. And there's just, when you, I always used to whine about things back into when I was a muggle before my spiritual awakening and I was a muggle. It was how to get through each day and why is this always happening to me? And of course that happened. Of course the car died. Of course this happened. Like all of these things. But when you come from a place of being grateful for just the tiniest things, I'm grateful that Ray had off this weekend and we were able to just sit outside and there was a beautiful breeze, which means there were no mosquitoes in that moment. I was grateful for that. If you're in Florida and you can get past no mosquitoes, you have immense gratitude for it. But
It's
it's
pretty
little
true in
things
Maine
that,
right now too. That and black flies. So yeah.
oh, black fly. I forgot about the flies up there. Yeah. Oh my gosh. You get horse flies too?
We do get horse flies, but the little black flies are the ones that have no stingers and they just rip a piece of your skin off. It's lovely. Yeah.
I don't remember that. Oh my God. I don't remember that.
I
All
didn't
right.
have them
I
in
guess I'll
Michigan.
take my
I had them
cues.
in Maine. I did not have them growing up in Michigan. I had the horse flies that bit. Yeah. I had,
Oh, yeah. Be grateful that
and
I don't have that.
yes, be grateful. And I even for black fly season is spring. So I am grateful because, and I'm very grateful it's a short season. What people are. Yeah. So, you know,
Going back to, I had my near-death experience this past November in 2023, and I was in complete joy and bliss after that happened. Like I was in La La Land. Really, I was really just in this peaceful, blissful state of gratitude, and I rode that wave for a few months, and then life happened, and then it was like, hey, here comes my ego. She back. So I came back. Kristen was back, and then I had to find myself navigating. It was spiritually, divinely led that we got a third dog. It was something that I was fighting spirit about doing, honestly. It wasn't like, oh, I want another dog. Of course, I want all the dogs every time I see a picture of them. That's why I share so much. I want them all rescued. But I would love to have all the dogs, all the cats, all these babies. But spirit had said, you know, you need to get another dog. And getting a puppy. She was 2 months old at the time, and we had fostered to adopt. That's how this rescue does it. And I'm still sick. So, puppies pee a lot, right? Like they go all the time. You literally take them out and you turn around and they peed again on something else. So I was out of my mind. So I actually had to work through anger and frustration, agitated, all of these different things, impatient. So that was a big one. I was impatient. And I remember asking my guides, why do I have all of this anger? And they said, not only are you processing having a new puppy, but you're processing the emotions that you went through from your trauma. And I was like, oh my gosh, you forget and you lose yourself in the everyday life, and you forget the depths of the things that we have to navigate and work through. So it was a shock to me. And then I had the gratitude of, I'm so grateful that I'm able to connect to my guides, that I'm able to hear them, and that I'm able to better navigate and get myself out of. So when
Yes.
you, yeah, right?
Hmm.
It,
That's really important to me, because when I'm grateful, I get a discernment, an ability to step back and
right.
kind of study, why am I angry, rather than just going with it. Why am I, and not tell myself I'm wrong, but what is this connected to? This that I was really grateful. So why are these other, the way I see them is like little tendrils of energy show up? And it's because in this gratitude, the heart is expanding. And I'm able to really look at those kind of tendrils tied to beliefs that I have made mine, that I have about other people, places, things, or myself. Nancy, jump in anytime.
Well, and
Oh,
past lives too, right? Because I've had
oh,
words that were
humanity
tied
carries
to
all
a
kinds of
belief.
information. Yeah.
Yeah, that bubbles up as you're going through normal everyday life too. So we have to really give ourselves such gratitude and grace for what energies we're trying to navigate. And then you're an astrologer, so the planets as well with all of that stuff too. So you put all of these energies together, and we're navigating through a lot. But when you have the other word I love is to observe.
Hmm.
So, yes, we might be these avatars, these humans here, this ego, but we also have the ability to really bring down our higher self and God and our guides to really be very close and work through us. We have this cord that connects. I can sense them sometimes, see them, how connected or distant people are from their higher self and from source, if their crown chakra is blocked or closed, or that kind of stuff. And when you bring your higher self in, and by asking, I ask and invoke my higher self to speak through me, to work through me. I called on my higher self prior to coming on here. So I speak in a way that is clear from the heart, and that is in a way that will be able to help others. Intention. Man, we have so many words I could talk about, Kitty.
Well,
It's like
that's why
working
we
with
do this.
guides. Which one do I want
Honestly,
to work with?
and honestly, we have several people jumping on. That's why we do this. This is not about how you do something. This is about paying attention to the words and how we use them, and what we have assigned as patterns to our words. And to me, gratitude has opened a huge amount of doors that I never thought. I always thought something happened to me and yay, that was good. And it kind of ended there. And I know as I practice gratitude,
Mhm.
I open ways I think, and I'm allowed to step that observe. There's another great word.
Mhm.
Observe the feeling. It doesn't mean it's not real. It doesn't mean I'm not feeling it, but I am not my thoughts. I am not my emotions. I'm this
Right.
human journey that's, as an astrologer, I believe you kind of signed up to learn this stuff. And and for me, the word gratitude is synonymous with God, spirit, higher power, because when I sit in a moment of silence to tune into the peace, the gratitude is one of the first things that arises, you know. Krista, will you talk a little off here about your actual, what you remember a little bit? Because I know that that's how we started with the gratitude for you. You were like, I made a decision, and there were all of these other pieces of excitement, because that was, again, as time has gone on, I love that you put out that thing about check in with people who've had trauma a few months, because when you start down the path with gratitude, again, these other emotions come through, and they're not that they aren't real, but there are old patterns connected to it. And you got, not that we ever want to see you do that again until you're ready. You got a 101 flash course of, oh, this is what this can look like. So
Yeah. So just talking about the NDE, you mean, Kitty?
yeah,
Or
yeah, just and how you came to this idea too with gratitude, that it's still processing it. Yeah.
Yes. Well, so again, November is when I had my heart stop. So for those that don't know me, I have severe heart issues. So my plumbing is a-okay. I've got total electrical issues. It's like a drum solo in there, to kind of talk about it that way. So I went into cardiac arrest. My heart stopped. I had no pulse for several minutes. I intubated for almost 20 hours, unresponsive. And then received a defibrillator after that. So I was in joy and bliss because I had an NDE. I had an out of body experience. I saw myself. I spoke with God. I spoke with, oh, my sister's coming in. Yay.
I just put her on. So
Thank you. Is that my sister, Lisa? Hi. So I had this experience of being on the other side. So when I came back, I was just in such, like I said, joy and bliss. And I was riding that wave for a few months. And my husband, for those that know him, they call him Batman. Even at work, people know him as Batman. He wears a Batman shirt every day. He's got 9 million Batman shirts. So he honestly, through all of this, when we had gotten Olive, I had gotten so frustrated and so angry, like I had said. And learning, and when I finally said, guides, why am I just so frustrated and so angry? And the guide said, what better way to learn how to overcome anger than to get a puppy? And I was like, oh my gosh, that's so true. So I wasn't having this huge, harsh lesson. I have this cute little puppy that I have to learn these hard emotions with. But the guide said, you're also processing your NDE, your trauma, because I did not see myself. I saw myself when I came out of body, faced myself, watched myself fall. I saw myself turn purple. And that's all I saw of myself. I could hear people calling my name, Kristen, you need to help us out, Kristen. You need to come wiggle your toes, move the, I could hear things. And I saw my daughter's face. I could zoomed into the ambulance. And then I was sucked out and I went into spirit world. And I remember being so upset and saying, why can't I see myself? Why couldn't I see Ray? And my mom says, you didn't want to see him. You did not want to see him like that. But I was disassociating with the experience because I had I was in spirit realm and had this amazing, beautiful, profound, life altering experience that I remember a lot of and continue to remember more of. But I still have this trauma of, I went through this. I woke up being in pain and having soreness and from chest compressions and all of that, being intubated, but I couldn't see myself. So I was totally disassociated with it. So it was hard for me. And I'm again still navigating all of that. I get dumbfounded by the fact that this happened because I didn't see myself. And my husband said I should have taken a picture. I'm like, that was not on your mind to do that because you didn't know we didn't know if I was going to make it or not. So having that, navigating those emotions I started to get angry because I didn't know how to navigate it. How do I get over this trauma if I couldn't see myself and realize that I had that this happened to me? All these different things that are going on in my head, having guilt because I had this blissful experience where it was totally traumatic for my entire family and friends. So I had to bring myself back. I had to, I'm going to start crying. I had to find myself again. This was totally about navigating ego. So when I came back, I know one of my lessons coming back was, all right, Kristen, you chose to really navigate ego. And now's the time to really do it because I want to profoundly help other people. How do I help other people, Kitty? By being vulnerable. I go through it and then I help other people. So it's like, crap, I got to go through all this stuff and then, be able to teach others and show others how to navigate it. But I had such gratitude for knowing that I can go to my guides, having a realization, because even though I was angry and had all these emotions that started months after when we had gotten Olive, March-ish of this year, realizing that I'm not who I was before. I'm not in it as long. I know how to ground, reset, and recharge. I had to realize I have boundaries. And my husband would say, just ask. Ask me, can you take the dog out? He goes, because he might be doing something. And so it's being able to, you talk about words with wisdom. I had to use my words. I was just doing things on my own and just zonking myself out because I was trying to do everything all the time. And my husband said, use your words. That's one thing he says all the time is use your words. Do you want me to take her out? Do you want me to take the dogs out? Do you want me to feed them? Or I'll say, here, Emily, play with the dogs, wear her out. I call Lola Mama Lou because she's Olive's mom pretty much, or playmate. So they're constantly, she's able to wear her out and I'm always like, oh, good job, baby. So they get a lot of treats because she's so good and she's so helpful. And so I've had to learn to use my words. So I've really profoundly come back to the word gratitude because I've always carried that word with me and carried it close to my heart when I started this journey. But after all of this and really navigating lower vibrational emotions and realizing I can get myself out of this. I am so grateful that I'm able to get myself out of this. I'm so grateful that I've learned not to try and take everything on my own and be Wonder Woman and try and do all of this myself, being able to open my mouth and say, can you take Olive outside? Can you play with her? I'm going to go lay, I have to go lay down, different things. I needed to use my words. And talking about frequency, how I'm using my words. Can you please take Olive? Because I need to go and rest and not like, oh my God, I'm going to lose my mind.
Well, and letting go of why can't you see this? One of the things for me when I practice gratitude is I therefore let go of my opinion about what you're doing. Why can't they see that this needs to, because they don't. It's not personal. Stephen Colbert said something which I still about gratitude. I am most grateful for something I wish had never happened to him. He lost a brother and a father in a car accident. And he said, in his life, it has been the greatest teaching tool. And I'm very grateful for something I still wish had never happened after all these years. And to me, that is kind of the pinnacle of gratitude. I take something that has happened as something I'm here to learn, something I'm here to use as a point of discernment. And what you're talking about is that I can ask for help without it being tied up into Mary Magdalene calls it the 7 powers of the ego or the 7 habits of the ego. And it is fascinating, the word gratitude, because I always thought it was light and bubbly and great, and it's not always.
Yeah,
gratitude is the harder work sometimes.
it is. There's nothing more difficult, in my opinion, than navigating yourself. Because when you're in it and you're moody and cranky and angry, we can be programmed, right? Because we have these programs when we're born, we bring this certain ego in and we have a way, these things that we want to overcome and navigate in life, plus
And believe
from our family, yes, our
and believe them
family,
as truths.
collective
Yes.
consciousness, all of that. So our ego, when Kristen is angry, I want to be in it. Like Ray will make me laugh and it will take everything in me because I don't want to laugh. My ego wants to be mad, dang it. And I want to be in it. I want to be angry. And right? Who's like that? I get like that. You get angry and you just want to, and my husband will say something and I start cracking up. I'm like, damn it, I wanted to be mad. But the one thing that I've learned, I think this came from Bashar, Daryl Anka. I'm choosing anger because I believe that I need it.
Mhm.
Why? And when you ask yourself, even if you're in joy, why am I in joy? What is so joyful about this moment? Because it's sometimes like when you flip it to the other side and I'm feeling so much joy, why am I feeling joy? It's not that I'm doing something, I'm going somewhere because it's hard. I can't travel. So when I do go out, I do have joy and gratitude and feel at peace with that. But there are some times where I feel overwhelming excitement, peace, and joy. And I'm just home sitting there with my book. Or I just got off chatting with a friend, that type of thing. Why is it that I'm choosing this emotion, that type of thing as well? Calling yourself out on it. But we really don't give ourselves enough credit for navigating this human avatar that we were given and having gratitude for that. Even if you're really tanking at it right now, it's okay because you have the realization of, I want to change. I realize that this is a habit and a behavior that I don't wish to have. I don't want to be. And it starts with that realization of it. So using these words and the frequency and the energy and the emotion behind them can profoundly help us. So the anger that I felt, I'm grateful for the anger. It sounds weird, but I have
Oh,
gratitude for the anger because it is in, we want to learn from all these beautiful, wonderful, happy teachers, right? But the most profound changes come from our shadows, come from the darkest, deepest, cruddy duddy things, anger, jealousy, all these different things. And we tend to not want to look at it. Put it in another room under lock and key and throw the key away and just look the other way. And that stuff keeps bubbling up in other areas because things come in layers.
well, and also because when you deny something, you give your power away to it. And to me, the practice of gratitude is that. Okay, this is here. This means there's something for me to learn. So let me go with it. I'm going to be
Yes.
happy on the other side of it. Sandra Pelly just said, yes, calling yourself out. She liked that, you know. Uh, yeah, it's again, some of this has to do with your words. That's nice. Uh, for those who can't see that, uh, Chrissy's sister said that I'm sure she has joy hearing your voice because she almost didn't hear your voice, you know, and she's very grateful. And for me, that's why it's such a expanded, I don't use the word higher, expanded frequency, because it allows us to have all of those human emotions, the anger, the darkness, the shadow. um, I'm a big believer in Louise Hayes. I release the need though to learn all of my lessons in harsh ways. I'm a release in that
Yeah.
what I'm finding is as my life settles down, the feelings still come up, but they're not about me into it. They're just about me. Oh, that's interesting. why did that activate me, trigger me, so some people say, activate me, you know,
Mhm,
let me, and I do often say, so where's the gratitude here? You know,
mhm.
I'm grateful I
Yes.
don't need to really deal with it, or I can look at this now. I can
Mhm.
actually look at it without it completely taking over my thoughts. There was a time in my own personal life where I would get so I'm a Leo moon anyway, so that's dramatic. I would get so hypnotized by it that I would be immobilized. I couldn't do anything joyful. I didn't ground. And I'm actually grateful for that woman that went through all that to get me to here, to get to this
Yes,
version of me.
yes,
Um, I really loved what Stephen Colbert. I am very grateful for the things I wish didn't happen, you know.
yes,
And now I'm releasing the needs to have them be harsh. I can get them a little easier now. So there's
yes,
some great people out there who help me be grateful for, like, oh, I'm glad I found this, you know.
yes. And my husband, he said kind of the same thing. When I used to get in a woe is me phase of, I'm so sorry that we had to come home or that we couldn't, because I'll get myself dressed and ready and get totally sick and we can't go anywhere or whatever it might be. And my husband said, I'm grateful that you have what you do because it made you who you are in this moment.
Hmm. Right.
Not that he's grateful for all of that stuff, but he's grateful for how it shapes us. And we get to choose how we want these words, these emotions, these frequencies, and these experiences, how it shapes us. We're we're the artist molding our own clay. We're molding our life to how we wish it to be. So why not make it amazing? And
Right.
then have the gratitude to have the realization of, I realize this, even if you haven't even worked on the emotions yet or know where to go with it, at least give yourself gratitude and grace for realizing that you wish to change that.
And that is a word I think goes hand in hand. Gratitude goes with grace. Gratitude is allowing yourself grace, allowing what's going on around you grace. Um, Again, it's not a one moment emotion. I've really learned about gratitude,
Yeah.
because then it's, what do I do? And even in the times where I'm like, oh gosh, Kitty, can you stop looking at what you got to do? Like what your next evolution is, and just be a verb of being. When I was a kid, I learned am is are was were be been. Sometimes I say that to myself. Just remember to be. Am is are was were be been. And grateful that I can just be. I can be happy, angry, all of those things. That doesn't make them me. But
Yeah.
gratitude makes me me. It taps into the highest frequency of authenticity,
Yeah.
enlightenment, authenticity, um, by being
Yeah.
that. Anyone who's watching or on the program, hint, hint, um, please share what you think about the word gratitude, or something that comes, any connections you made. That's what this program is. This is not
Mhm.
about experts. It's about us following, you know, I love the word grace. Uh, and I love that you associated that with gratitude. Gratitude and grace, they kind of go hand in hand, don't you think?
Yes. Yes. And the other word that I've loved is peace.
Hmm.
Because being human, you want so many things. And because I do practice the law of attraction, we all practice the law of attraction. It's what we do, it's how we're attracting everything in our life. So why not be consciously aware of it and practice, consciously intend and practice the law of attraction? Like attracts like. You're creating your world, your inner world is your outer world. But when I came back in November from my experience, I was at peace. There was one thing when I woke up, when I said, okay, I'm coming back. And I came back and I told my husband, don't tell me things so I can get validation from you. And when I first woke up, they call it the 51st dates effect because you can't remember. So I couldn't remember more than, I think it was 30 seconds. So I would constantly say something. So, oh my God, the patience that my family had to have with me. They actually wrote out a sign and put it in my lap. you fell in the shower. And I read it and it was like I was reliving it. I fell in the shower, and then it got to, you fell in the shower. I thought Ray fell in the shower. Are you okay? And he's like, who's in the bed? So, but I was such, I was in such peace and such joy. My hair, when I fell in the shower. I had my conditioner still in my hair. So I let my conditioner sit in my hair so it's nice and soft. And I started washing my face and saying my prayers. And that's when my heart stopped. So I still had conditioner in my hair. And my mom said, I'll never forget that morning when we walked in, because I said, when I was back, I was back. They had to actually sedate me more because I was fighting to come out. And my husband's like, can you do something? Because she's fighting and they needed to make sure I was okay in order for them to take the tube and everything out. So they sedated me more because I was really ready. I was back. When I was back, I was back and I was ready. So when my parents came in the next day, my hair was all kinds of crazy. And apparently I had one curly Q that was just shooting out the side of my head. And I just turned and looked at my mom and I'm like, hi, mom, hi, dad. And my mom said just the look on my face was the same look as when I was a kid. And then this curly Q sticking out just was like added to that
The
joyful
comedy
happiness.
of the moment.
Yes, exactly. For that visual, for those that are visual.
Mhm.
But I was so at peace. And for those that you want so many things in life. I'll be happy when. You have the I'll be happy when syndrome. I'll be happy when I have the job, when I have the money, when I have the house, when I have the kids, when I have all of these ducks in a row. I'll be happy when. You're robbing yourself of now, of the joy and of the peace. So the peace, there's something that I said to Ray last night when I was helping him navigate his emotions. Now I'm going to start crying again because it was just emotional. Um, but I started channeling guides, and Thoth, the Egyptian god, actually, I've been working with intensely lately. And he came forward, and what came out of my mouth is peace be with you, peace flow through you, peace be in your heart. And I kept repeating that over and over and over. And I turned on my Reiki to be able to help soothe him, help him to navigate his emotions, and help him to sleep. If anything else, have this energy conk you out so you can, rejuvenate and rest through the night. But to be at peace is just, you're in this total state of just calm and peace. And it brings on just this. I love being joyful and giddy and happy, and that's me. But to be at peace, there's just like this calm. You can observe so much better. So I've been navigating and asking and grateful to be able to remember to have the intention of wanting to feel peace throughout my day as well. Be at peace, because they say, when they call it the pendulum swing. So if you're really, 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 really happy, that energy is also going to pendulum back. And you're going to, have some moments. You know how some days you're like, how was I so happy this morning? And I feel like totally in the gutter now, because the pendulum swings according to what your emotions are. So when you're at peace and calm, it's not going to sway too much. So it's really a beautiful, beautiful, even place to be, is in this total balance, that yin, that yang, that beautiful balance of being at peace and this calmness that comes within. And I've had a lot of gratitude for that too, because I've realized, because what do you want in life? I finally realized what Kristen wants: peace. I want peace within me, within my outer world, with people that I meet, all of that. So it's been, it's amazing. And I know Kitty and Nancy, this. When you're on the spiritual journey or on any journey, it's amazing how much you can learn in a short amount of time. You can think, man, I'm really losing it. I was so angry. I felt like I was in it, and it felt like I was in it for too long for me, in my opinion. But I was able to pull myself out of it, and to have the gratitude to have gone through all of that and to be where I am now. And when you go through all of these emotions and you navigate them, you receive downloads and guidance and clarity, because you can't see that. The one thing that my guides will always say during sessions, you can't see the forest through the trees. That's why you have to pull yourself out of a situation, ground, do things that raise your emotion and your vibration, be in that state of peace and calm, and be in that, receptive to gratitude, being grateful. And that's when you can observe and you can see better
I,
and be able to navigate.
yes, I mean, I even do a little, I do a little song at night, and the last line is "Grateful I remain." Because when I say, "All right, I don't understand what's going on here, but I'm grateful I will at some point,"
Mhm.
and I've been a longtime member of Al-Anon, and peace, serenity. One of the things you learn is serenity is boring at first
Mhm.
because we are very used to some of the dramatic pieces of life. And we've kind of conditioned ourselves to think something is wrong unless there's a zing of either high or low. And serenity, peace, is when I can say, in this moment, in this very second, everything is actually fine. Fine.
Mhm.
So again, that discernment that allows me to practice gratitude. Isn't that great in this moment? Or I'm going to get this. I want to share. Sandra said, being grateful for where I am in many aspects of my life. Um, and then I have Sue Senden, who says, when we live in a place of gratitude, we are granted grace and peace. And
Mhm.
so, it is amazing as we look at, and again, but part of which is why we do words of wisdom. What are you
Mhm.
saying between your ears? Even when you're angry, are you saying, I shouldn't be angry? Okay. It's very hard to say this, but I'm grateful I'm angry right now because there's something to learn. How do I shift my own language I'm using? I'm
Mhm.
a great believer of every time I go to say but, I see if I could really say and, because I'm
Mhm.
holding the polarity of opposites. You know, this is true and this is true. That kind of takes that pendulum out of this, you know.
Yep.
It's only really a but if what I said before it isn't, I want to dismiss it. And it's like,
Mhm.
oh, but very rarely do I want to dismiss anything that comes out. So uh, I am very grateful to be talking about words and to have people walk away and go, because in a moment, I want to be able to stay in gratitude and go, well, this is happening for a reason. Start there. Not in it doesn't have to be a big cosmic reason. Maybe it's just a reason for me to put my feet in the ground at the
Mhm.
moment. Sometimes, I love that you picked the word gratitude
Mhm.
because am I grateful for? What is great in this moment? Maybe that I don't have to live this moment again. Sometimes that's all I can come
I'm
up with.
glad that's done.
Glad that's done. Well, that was unpleasant. Glad it's over.
We
I
can
mean,
always, there's always something to be grateful for. Always. When I'm last night, because I was waiting for that rain to come because it's been raining every day and we haven't had the heavy rains like South Florida. So we're good up here. We're no flooding or anything, but normal, nice rains every day. And I was grateful because I'm like, is that the rain? Because it didn't look like we were going to get the rain because I'm a radar watcher. Ask Tamara. I'll message her and be like, we're getting a storm. So, and I get all excited about it. I'm the meteorologist here. So, Lisa will tell you. And if I miss it, they're like, you didn't tell me about the storm. What's wrong with you? But I had total gratitude for the rain in that moment. And even when I'm not feeling good, and I was telling Kitty before we got on, yesterday was the first day in several days that I felt good. I've been really sick with my heart episodes. My husband wanted to take me down to Bayshore Drive because he had to go look at a job out there and he wanted to take me so I could see the houses and be by the water. And it was a beautiful experience, but I got so sick and came home and was in bed the rest of the day. And yes, I did cry because you need to honor how you feel. But I had so much gratitude that I don't have to worry about going to work like I used to. I'm grateful that my husband has his own business, and if I need him, he's able to come home, stay home, be home, and be able to help. So there's so much gratitude. So when I'm just sitting here and I'm just breathing, I'm so grateful I don't have pain when I'm breathing. I'm grateful that, I don't feel dizzy right now. There's so much that we can be grateful for always, even when we're in the thick of it. Bring up something that you're grateful for, and also use your words. Like my husband says, use your words, ask for help, ask for guidance from other people, from your guides, because ask and it is given. A lot of times we're like, where are my guides? They're right there, but you're too in it to be able to see it and to be able to navigate it. But there's always a reason to have that gratitude. And if you practice that morning and night, with my other favorite word, intention, um, it infuses such magical things in your life. So I've realized by practicing gratitude, it just brought me so much more peace.
Yeah, the concept of practice gratitude was a little foreign when I first added. What do you mean practice gratitude? You know?
Mhm.
And there was a piece that felt fake. And again, that's when I'm not quiet. And what is fake if I'm doing it? You know, uh, you know, there was a judgment there.
Mhm.
And practicing is just like anything. I practice. Oh, I see something I like, and I try now to think in my head, I like that. That's beautiful, you know. And once you practice gratitude, really practice it, you
Mhm.
know. I know people that will 10 things they're grateful for before they go to bed at night, you know.
Mhm.
Um, I remember a friend a long time ago in an Al Anon group who said, at one moment, the only thing I could come up that I was grateful for was the warm water, the way it felt on my palm. I have always remembered that because in my deepest issue, I will go to the water and turn the water on and start there. That
Mhm.
was a pearl for me. I can enjoy this feeling or a smell I enjoy.
Mhm.
Um, for me, that was really important because as I tune in to gratitude, there's so many judgments, beliefs I let go of,
Yeah.
especially perfection, because the opposite of gratitude to me is perfection.
Mm.
You
Yeah.
know, nothing is perfect, you know.
Yes. Oh,
There goes
hey, Lola
Lola.
Buggy. She hears Ray talking to me. It's like Beetlejuice. We said his name too many times.
Um, and
Lola's like, Dad.
I
But
know that that's an interesting thought, but for me, perfection is when I'm trying to control and name, and I see myself as separate. When I'm grateful, I'm stepping with intention. Another great word we should have a conversation with. What does really intention mean?
mhm,
Into the flow. Gratitude allows me into the flow. Maybe
mhm,
not in the moment of what my power of the habit of the eagle is the human manager is trying to do. And it's only
mhm,
trying to manage me so it keeps me quote unquote safe over
mhm.
amplifying patterns.
Yeah.
Um, oh, Teresa just said, my last thought of the day when I go to bed is gratitude. There is always something, I'm thankful I can breathe air in my own home. There are people who can't breathe the air in their own home. So, yes, in that last moment, if I can practice something to be grateful for, even if it's the warm water going over my hand, I get in touch with the flow. I just realized it's about the flow that brings me that grace, that gratitude, that moment of serenity and peace in
Yeah.
that moment. And that's all I have to manage is that moment.
That
That's the
one.
other thing,
Yeah.
that moment. So that's a really interesting way. I'm so peace and grace and gratitude are all kind of, you
They're
know,
all interwoven. They're all interwoven. It's really funny because I was talking to Kitty beforehand and telling her about Olive, our new puppy, who we call Little P for Peanut, which can also stand for pain in the, as in PETA. So, but she does this thing because I can let her outside because we have a fenced backyard. And bye, Nancy, I'm happy to see you.
Thanks, Nancy.
So I had I'll let Olive out to go to the bathroom. And I'm grateful that I don't always need to use a leash because it's a lot to put a leash on to, she'll pull all of that to go potty. And so what Olive has been doing, how Olive is in this she's in this cute, sweet phase. And I forget that she's a little over 5 months old because she'll be so well behaved and then she turns into a total brat like this, just this little velociraptor land shark brat that wants to grab and bite everything. But she's been running away from me outside. So she only did that for a couple of days. Oh my God, the anger crept back up again because it was like, I said, come here. Because it's like, come here, Olive. Olive, come here. Olive, I said, come here. And then you're screaming at her. And she just sits there and she waits for you to walk forward. And then she'll haul it and grab something else and run the other way. I mean, and I turned around and Ray was like on the floor. He was laughing so hard because I was trying to get her inside and she just wanted no part in it, which in turn made me laugh about it because remember, you get to choose how you react. You can change it. You don't need to stay in the programming of your ego if you're mad, if you're upset, and stay in that. You can change your state at any point. You get to choose that. So the gratitude I have right now is that Olive loves her food and she loves treats, and I'm able to take her outside and say, well, do you want a treat? Come, I need to give her a task and something to do. Sit, stay, shake, and she'll run back over. So when she's trying to run away and do her little game, I can get her to come over and I'm able to redirect her. And I can't tell you how grateful I am that that even came into mind. That was totally spirit. That wasn't something I did. So I'm grateful that my guides are helping me to navigate raising a puppy. Grateful that Olive is so smart and grateful that I'm realizing that I get to choose how I navigate these words that I say between the ears in my head
That's,
or out loud.
yes.
And right? Because again, old Kristen would be, I would act in optimistic way and be positive and happy and joyful, but internally I was a hot mess and I was really very pessimistic. And I've learned to really show what I feel inside now. And I have gratitude for that because it's liberating.
It is liberating when you start to deal with the words of wisdom in your head. Huh. That's really where it starts. Not a toxic positivity, but let me be grateful that I can take the moment and step back from this, like you did with Olive. Step back
Yeah.
and look at, this is a journey. It's not, it's not in this, I have to figure it all out in this moment. And that is something I'm grateful for, that I've learned to let go of. In this moment, I can be grateful for the fact that, oh, by the way, your mother says she's grateful for you. For Chrissy's
I love
mom,
you,
I can be
Mom.
grateful Chrissy's sitting here. In the moment, I can be grateful for anything, whether it's just go to the sink. I love that. Go to the sink and run warm water over your hand. I'm grateful
Yeah.
for how this feels on my palm.
Yeah.
Anything we can, because when we practice that, that's what we expand, that grace and that peace. Well, Chrissy, believe it or not, we've been on an hour already.
Oh my
That
gosh.
went really fast. I want to thank everyone for coming. We will not have words of wisdom next month because I will be in Montana.
No,
So,
very good.
traveling, and I'm very grateful to get the opportunity to be traveling
Mhm.
again. And thank you. And we will be back. I think Stephanie comes back in August. And she's going to be talking about healing, and talking about what it means and some of the words that around. She's a cancer survivor. Some of the words that were more positive for her that she's very grateful for, and perhaps impart on us sometimes things that we say are heard very differently. So please join us. It's the third Monday of every month. We do words of wisdom. And thank you so much, Chrissy, for being here in many levels. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me
All
here.
right, take care, everyone. I'm going to stop the live now. Thank you, and we will see you in August.